There are times when you can't miss a large pendulum. That is, you can't ignore it or leave it alone. I had a friend who was so docile, kind-hearted, but endowed with incredible physical strength. We were traveling with him late at night on a tram, and there was a gang of aggressive bullies, a truly destructive pendulum. There were many of them feeding off each other's negative energy and feeling completely immune to punishment. But to gain even more energy, a gang like this usually needs to constantly intimidate someone to get food from the outside. They started to bother my friend because the kind and peaceful expression on his face did not inspire any danger. They both tried to provoke him with taunts and insults, but he sat quietly and did not respond to the provocations. That is, he tried to knock down the pendulum. I did not intervene either because I knew he was not in danger. Finally, unable to take it anymore, my friend headed for the exit, but the most greedy and insolent adherent blocked his way. Then my friend, cornered, grabbed him by the neck and struck him. The victim's face immediately turned to mush. The rest of the heroes stood stunned in surprise and horror. My friend turned and grabbed the next one, but muttered in a trembling voice, "No, man, no, oh." The pendulum's energy was instantly extinguished, and the followers, shying away and retreating, left the tram. Of course, it's good for those who can defend themselves. But if not, then what? If you really have nowhere to retreat, you can throw something extraordinary to extinguish the pendulum, something that no one expects from you. I was told about such a case. A group of brave supporters of a street gang cornered a guy and was about to beat him up. Then he approached the leader, stared at him with a crazy look and said, "What do I need to break, your nose or your jaw?" This formulation of the question clearly did not fit into the script, and the leader was taken aback for a moment. Then the guy with an unhealthy enthusiasm exclaimed, "Let me rip your ear off." The whole show that the gang was used to playing was thwarted. The leader was no longer even thinking about beating anyone up. He had only one concern: to free his ear. The guy was left standing there like a madman, but he escaped retaliation. Therefore, if you find yourself in a situation where you know the standard scenario, do something no matter what. That does not fit into this scenario. The pendulum will shut down. The fact is that as long as you act according to the script, you are playing the pendulum's game and giving your energy to its frequency. But if your frequency is very different, you will find yourself in dissonance with the pendulum and thus throw it off balance. At the same time, you shouldn't look for trouble if it's a pendulum that has nothing to lose. If you are attacked for the purpose of robbery, it is better to give the money right away. Some even carry $10 in cash on purpose. For example, if a robber is a drug addict or a psychopath, he can easily take your life, even if you are a martial artist. Therefore, you should not be contacted. As with a rabid dog, your death will be unjustified and ridiculous. A sense of humor and imagination can help extinguish anger. Turn your frustration into play. For example, you are annoyed by crowds of people on the street or on public transportation who are in a hurry. Imagine that you are in Antarctica in a bird colony. People are penguins, and they are very funny as they wander, flutter and swarm around. Who are you? You are also a penguin. After such a transformation, people no longer inspire irritation, but rather sympathy and curiosity. Of course, this may seem difficult when you want to tear them apart and throw them down. At such moments, the most difficult thing to remember is that this is just a pendulum that covets your energy and that you cannot give in to provocations. The pendulum, like a vampire, uses a kind of anesthesia, its habit of reacting negatively to stimuli. Even now, after reading these lines, you may be distracted in a few minutes and respond with irritation to an unwanted phone call. But if you set yourself the goal of acquiring the habit of remembering, you will eventually develop immunity to the provocations of pendulums. Pay attention. When you encounter some annoying circumstance and react with irritation, dissatisfaction, or negative emotions, the negative situation immediately continues and develops in the same spirit, or new problems appear. This is how the pendulum swings. It is you who wears it yourself. Do the opposite. Do not react in any way or respond with a completely opposite reaction. For example, you can meet annoyance with feigned enthusiasm or even idiotic delight. This is the extinction of the pendulum. You will ensure that there is no continuation, as you will recall, the habit of reacting negatively to annoying circumstances is the starting lever of the mechanism for capturing your mental energy by the pendulum. This habit will fade away if you play a kind of game in which you deliberately make the following substitutions: fear, confidence, discouragement, enthusiasm, resentment, indifference, irritation, joy. Try to react inappropriately even to minor problems. What's wrong with you? It may be ridiculous, but this style of play will leave the pendulum no chance. This method seems absurd, because pendulums have taught us to play only games that are beneficial to them. Try now to impose your game on them. It will give you pleasure, and you will be surprised to discover how powerful this technique is. The principle is the same. By radiating at a frequency different from the resonant one, you enter into dissonance with the pendulum. It turns off in relation to you and leaves you alone. There is another interesting form of gentle extinction. If someone bothers you, that is, creates a problem for you, try to determine what that person is missing, what they need. Now imagine that this person has what they are missing. It could be health, confidence, peace of mind. If you think about it, these are the three main things we need to feel satisfied. Think about what they really need right now. Let's say your boss yelled at you. Is he tired or having problems in his family? Then he needs peace of mind. Imagine him relaxing in a comfortable armchair next to the TV, by the fireplace, with a fishing rod by the river, or in a bathhouse with a glass of beer. Do you know what he likes? Maybe senior officials are putting pressure on him and he is afraid of responsibility. Then he needs confidence. Imagine him gliding confidently downhill on skis or in a sports car, or at a party where he's the center of attention. Maybe something hurts him. Imagine him happy, swimming in the sea, riding a bike, playing soccer. Of course, it's better to imagine what he likes, but you don't have to guess. Don't let that bother you. What's going on here? Here he appeared on your horizon with a problem for you. And he could also be a thief. Take a break from the problem he brings you. This way, you don't get caught up in the frequency capture loop from the start. Imagine that this person gets what he needs. What does the thief want? Eat, drink, shoot up? Visualize an image of this person satisfied. If you succeed, consider the problem over. After all, the pendulum started swinging for a reason. Something threw him off balance. He, consciously or unconsciously, is looking for something to restore his balance. And so, the energy of your thoughts at a certain frequency gives it to him, albeit indirectly. Although this technique resembles shamanism, it is based on the principle of extinguishing a pendulum. A pendulum man comes to you with a problem, and you satisfy him, but not explicitly, but on an energetic level. You gave him your energy, but only the smallest part compared to what you could have lost. In addition, you did a good deed, at least for a while. You provided assistance to those in need. Interestingly, they will subsequently change their attitude towards you to a more friendly one. They will not know why they feel comfortable in your company. Let this be your little secret. This technique can be successfully applied in cases where you yourself need to get something from a person and he is preoccupied with his problems and unwilling to give it to you. Do you need a signature from an official? First, feed him with a beneficial visualization, and he will do everything for you. And one last thing, where do you think the energy of the pendulum you extinguished goes? It goes to you. You are becoming stronger. If you solve the problem, you will become stronger. Next time, this will no longer be a problem for you. And if you are struggling with a problem, you are giving energy to the pendulum that created the problem.